Welcome. It is the Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 342, and it is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
I'm feeling good. It's Friday. We usually don't do a Friday podcast anymore because we're too much of a bunch of corporate shit. So I'm glad we're doing the Friday podcast. It's nice. Feels good.
Friday podcast. It's getting cold. We talked about, and getting into the main topic, we had an episode a few months ago where we were talking about how we were recently injured, and oh boy, our heroes are getting injured out there. It's rough out there on the slope so far in this early FIS season. But
it's like
Mikaela,
when Superman
Marcel,
pulls a hamstring, right?
It's like being a Jets fan, being a ski racing fan these days. Three plays in, your franchise quarterback just goes down for the season. That's what FIS is like this season.
I look at it as Superman pulling a hammy. You don't expect him to. You're just like, oh, the Jets, you expect them to every year. So just being a longtime Jet fan, I just got to say, you're kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop. With these skiers, being superheroes, you don't expect that shoe to drop. You're like, well, what do you mean? They're men and women with steel.
All ski racing fans are Jet fans right now. They understand what it's like to be a Jet fan. It's hard out there. It's you come in with excitement, expectations, and then snap goes a hammy. Snap goes an ACL.
Yeah. What's your plan B? Because we're gonna have to go to that right away.
We're gonna need B, C, D.
Break out the plan B. Maybe the C, maybe the D.
We're going down the line.
You gotta have a plan A through Z if you're really organized.
That's right. We'll get to that in the main topic. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We're on the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Do you want to help us out? Do you want to support the show? Do you want to be part of this? Patreon.com/Ski Bum Podcast. You can join. There's a few different tiers. You can be part of this. We'd really appreciate that. Do you want to send us an email? Got some tips? skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Ski season is here. It doesn't mean you got to stop working out. We got a deal for you. Go to 10,000. 10,000.cc. Athlete-led design. Test, iterate, repeat. Better than yesterday. At the heart of 10,000 is the idea of pursuit. In business, fitness, life, and skiing, we believe in moving forward with a quiet dedication to constant improvement and to becoming just a bit better than we were yesterday. I'm rocking my interval pants. I talk about them almost every week now. I ordered another pair this week. I freaking love them.
Damn.
So comfortable. Comfortable for anything. Working out, sleeping, sitting on a couch, podcasting. They're ideal. Use the code BSchneider15, one word, BSCHNEIDER15 for 15% off. It's 10,000.cc. Mario, let's kick this off the way we always do.
It's time for Après Today.
So Après Today, I tell you what, this is a multi-Après experience for me again. Did have a little wine with dinner. Gentlemen,
It's Friday.
We're Friday, but so my wife's working tomorrow, so it's kind of like low key, but we've been cooking a lot. I got to say, out of the whole week, out of 7 days, we maybe go out one night a week, right? And I like going out, but the food you get out isn't as good. We cook a lot. We've been talking about we're running through our pans, we're beating them up because it's we cook that much, which is good. You want to be in that zone of we're making some good stuff. It's healthier and it's better. And I don't know. But so I had wine with dinner, a Montepulciano, because we always have, it's usually Chianti or Montepulciano. That's all we're sticking with these days. It's all Italian wines. So that was good. That was my dinner. That was my après work day, right? Drink. Pre-podcast après today. And now my après, I decided today during work, I'm thinking about what I want to have tonight as a nice special drink. I said, why not make old fashions? What is wrong with an old fashioned, right? So not a smoky old fashioned, not a stupid fancy, just a regular old fashioned, right? So I looked it up, got some ingredients that I didn't have. I didn't get any fancy Luxardo cherries. I got the half of the price, still very expensive, special Bing cherries and some stuff, but they're really good cherries too. I
If
don't
it
even
ain't
know who makes
Luxardo,
them.
it ain't shit.
Yeah. Well, the Luxardo, the little bottle, it was like $20. I'm like, yeah, I can't do
Why
it.
do you get a little bottle? You get the giant tin for 400.
Well, then you got to commit to drinking a lot of old fashions, or you're on the Shirley Temple kick or something. I don't know, right? Like or Rob
I will
Roy,
tell you. I will
Roy
tell you.
Rogers, right?
With my creamy that I got, I made some chocolate ice cream and I blended in some of those cherries into the ice cream and some marzipan.
Luxardo cherry ice cream.
It was god damn delicious. I'm
That's
not gonna lie.
decadent. And the kids are looking at it like, I don't care. I like the bright red ones that are radioactive. Those are good too, Dad. Right?
No way. That is vile. That will not be even seen in my house. I wouldn't even put those in my garbage. That's how much I hate those things.
I got some nice cherries. They're good. They were actually soaked. They were like tipsy. They're tipsy cherries. So they were good, but they're not Luxardos. But I had so what I did was I made a very nice, you can tell there's no more ice in here. There's a reason for that, because I made it when we started, just before we went on for the podcast. And then Brian and I do so much stuff talking about the podcast and catching up and a whole bunch of stuff before we even get on the air, that the ice melted. I kind of drank through probably about 3/4 of that old fashioned. So I just went and filled her up with a little old bullet to top her off. So it's kind of a bourbony old fashioned. Like, what would you call that? I think that could be the Ski Bum Podcast old fashioned, like the angry fashion, the new fashion,
the old fashioned, same as the new fashion.
I'm gonna call it, because there's no ice, the neat fashion. How about that?
Neat fashion. I like it. High fashion.
High fashion. Just for demonstrative purposes, this is, remember I told you the Costco, we get the bullet at Costco.
Yes.
So this is the massive, I think 1.75 liter.
Oh boy.
We got this last week.
Good Lord.
So 1 week ago from tomorrow, we got this. Like, that's pretty fucked up. That's a good job, I gotta say.
That's rough. That's pretty impressive.
We drink a little wine in there, but we're not raging alcoholics. We're fully functioning alcoholics. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You got to be something. And now, if you're watching the video, and I hope you are watching the video version of the podcast, I love Mario's plant in the background, because when he first got on, I was like, "Is that a weed plant behind you?"
Well, yes. This is the highfalutin ski bum.
Just the high ass ski bum podcast.
Girl Scout cookie skunk behind me. Like, I don't know.
A little Maui Wowie behind you.
This is the Ski Bum Podcast Diesel right behind us. Should have our own strain.
I was really hoping it was. You know what? It is. I'm not even acknowledging.
Brian's like, man, you're stepping up your game. I'm like, dude, you know how nasty my house would smell right now? I couldn't go to work. They'd be like, dude, you smell like weed. Like,
I love the weed plant and the Peloton. Like, it's a beautiful combo.
It's a yin and yang. You weed it up. How do you recover? You recover. And in front of the Peloton is see that little tent thing? Yeah. That is
hyperbaric chamber.
That is a sauna.
Okay.
That's a little sauna. That thing gets hot as fuck in there.
Does it really? It's like infrared
a little infrared. It's like a little hot. It's like literally a sweat box, but it's good for it. It's good for trying to keep the body real, trying to keep this going, this whole thing going.
You're trying to counter the half a handle of bullet you drink a week somehow.
That's right. This is like, we're beyond the half. This bullet, they put a line in there. That's half. That shit is way below that.
Yeah.
And the night ain't over yet. It's Friday. It's Friday night. True.
It's Friday.
I gotta say, things get a little wild down here by the beach. You know why? Because I'm not skiing as much. So what do you do? Now. You think about skiing, you work out, you sweat a little, and then you drink because you're not
survived. You survived like 5 hurricanes. Like you're YOLOing it this winter.
That's right. To be healthy,
YOLO winter.
You have to keep it real.
Flush out the toxins. You got to ingest the toxins so you can flush them out.
Oh yeah. And Bullet, I tell you what, Bullet's a good go-to. I remember when it came out, it was like the cheapest bourbon around. I was like, hey, this is cheap but good. And I was like, buying it, and I was at first it was kind of frowned on, like, why are you buying Bullet? Like, are you cheap? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ghetto as fuck. And then now it's like it's not ghetto as fuck anymore. They've come a long way.
They've come a long way, baby.
But like I said, the bullet to the head always hits you good.
Yeah,
This
well,
is our
they should have-
podcast. This is what
I'm
we do.
surprised. I'm surprised there isn't like something called like bulletproof, but spelled like bullet spells it.
Well, bulletproof coffee. Maybe he was drinking that, but then he's not bulletproof. So
He was
I
just
don't know.
pouring whiskey in his coffee. That's like the bullet spelled the way the whiskey spells it.
Oh, bulletproof coffee with bullet bourbon. Oh, a double bullet.
Double
A
bullet.
double bullet coffee. That's
A buttery bourbony coffee. That would be freaking delicious.
yeah. Well, all right.
basically
I'm
what
going
it
to work with that. I'm writing that down because that could be a good breakfast drink.
Well, I mean, Irish coffee is a thing. Just think
Yeah,
about like
that's what I'm saying.
a buttery bullet coffee. That could be a thing too.
A bulletproof coffee. Like instead of an Irish whiskey, we do American bullet.
That's what I'm saying.
American bullet coffee. Boom. Bulletproof coffee and bullet bourbon.
This has got
It's
legs.
all America.
It's got
America.
legs. USA.
MAGA. Make it great again.
Make
MABA.
make bullet great again.
Make American bullet great. MABA. I don't know. Whatever.
Make America bulletproof again.
Ah, there we go.
All right.
Oh,
There
and
you
then
go.
you couldn't take out Trump. He's bulletproof too.
Trump and bullet whiskey. It's like
Trump.
imagine
Bullet bourbon.
if he drank, like having some sort of tie-in with like bullet whiskey would be amazing.
No,
The
you
bo-
do it
the
with
bottle
AI.
comes by. The bottle comes by his head, and he like just grabs it and starts drinking it.
You do with AI where before he goes onto the podium, he gets a bulletproof coffee with bullet bourbon and he's drinking it and he turns at the last minute and then he just stops. He says, I'm bulletproof.
Or like when he gets up, he goes,
Boom.
drink, drink, drink.
Drink. There we go.
Okay.
We are, if you want to hire us for your marketing think tank, we are for hire. Just
Yes.
reach out to us.
But
We'll help you out
beware.
with whatever.
Be aware, we don't get out of bed for less than $100,000, though.
That's right.
The
And it's a
policy.
process.
It is.
And it's a process. Yeah.
Usually, we need to have like a 2-week expense paid ski excursion because that's when our best
To get
ideas come from.
in the zone.
Higher elevation, lower oxygen. This is when the brilliance
Massages.
and I remember you were getting I think was it Klaus, the guy who was massaging you in Austria?
Dude, it moved. Klaus was good. His strong
Klaus
hands.
was good. That's right.
I tell you, 2 ski vacations, I got dudes like
hands.
massaging me. And it's funny, like I'm talking to everybody else that got massaged. They're like, oh yeah, the girl was, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I had a dude massage me, but I'm like, I look at it as like a sports thing. I'm like, my legs are fucking burning. Like, I just want to get a massage. So I don't know. I look at like an athletic thing, not hey man, maybe I got a chance with this girl. Like, really? You really think you're gonna go to the the grand resort and get a hand job from some hot masseuse? Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, take your mind out of your fantasy that you've seen on TV and Instagram. Like, it doesn't happen. You're watching too much porn.
I had the female masseuse, and it was easily the most half-ass fucking massage I've ever had in my life.
That was Ishgil, right?
Like she made, I think it was Ishgil. Yeah, I mean, I've even given massages that were better than that, and I usually am a half-ass massage giver, so I know what a half-ass massage was, and this chick was just putting zero effort in. She did not care about my satisfaction. She goes, "You're not coming back ever again, so why am I going to bother doing a good job?"
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I went to the other place and I had like a grandma aged lady massage me and I fell asleep on the thing. She had to like push me, like wake up. I was out. She did like some Vulcan. Yeah, she did some Vulcan thing and I was out. Missing a kidney and I woke up in some ice, the whole thing.
Yeah, it goes sometimes. That's in Eastern Europe. Yeah, it's just how it goes.
Yeah,
pay to
but
play.
it was a great massage. Felt like $1 million after.
There you go. Well, speaking of $1 million, my app rate today, because it is winter. It's finally gotten cold here. There's ski resorts opening up all over the East Coast. Pennsylvania is open this week. Jack Frost Blue Mountain, Seven
Camelback.
Springs, a bunch open. I'm not sure if Camelback opened yet. They probably did, but I know for sure Jack Frost, Seven Springs, and Blue are open. So usually it's tradition. Once things start to freeze, there's a special drink that gets made in December,
Oh,
and that would be delicious Glühwein, which you can't see because
nice.
all you see is a Colorado mug. But inside this Colorado mug, I don't want to pour it out. There is magical Glühwein in here. If you're familiar with the
Nice.
podcast, you know about Glühwein. If you have culture and
I
you've
think we
skied in
shared the
Europe,
recipe
you know
with
about
people.
Glühwein. You may have.
Yeah.
May have. So my wife she's kind of got her own recipe. My mom has always made it. And she uses like black tea and white and red wine. Like she's got her own thing. My wife is kind of dialed in a different formula. And I hate to say it's my mom, but I like my wife's recipe better. She's got it down with
Smart guy.
red wine. It's got brandy in it. It's got oranges, lemons, cloves,
Now,
cinnamon,
what kind of brandy?
mulled wine.
Because
What's
usually
that?
is the plum brandy or whatever. Is that, or they just use
Slivovitz.
regular brandy?
Yeah, no, we just used
Oh, Slivovitz is for the Jaeger tea.
that's
right?
that's like the plum brandy. We used the best. Like I wanted to get Asbach. That's the one I usually like, which is a good brandy. It's like a German brandy. They didn't have it there, so we had to get the best crappy brandy. So like the VSOP, but it wasn't like the Christian Brothers. It was something similar. Some blue label thing. I forget. But so like a regular brandy. That's like the liquor besides the wine, and you don't boil it.
Louis the
Make it
13th. You
warm.
make it with?
Yes, Louis the 13th. I believe that was it.
Can you imagine that? You make your fucking glue on with Louis the 13th. That'd be awesome. That'd be off the chart.
Isn't it like Waterford, the crystal that it comes in, or whatever? You like use that to drink out of.
Beautiful bottle.
You microwave it in there.
P Diddy party, you might have it at. If you're at the P Diddy ski, jammy jam, the all white party on the ski hill for P Diddy. Nobody can fucking see anything. Everybody's invisible.
They would have Glühwein, some sort of like
everybody's skiing into everybody because they're all fucking. Who the fuck wears white? The ski patrol is like, what the fuck? They're all wearing white.
I think you missed my Glühwein joke, which is tragic because it was so good.
Tragic.
We're using Glühwein. Glühwein.
Little baby oil in there too.
So yeah, you heat up the Glühwein. It's cold now. It was warm when I warmed it up an hour ago. It's cold now. It just warms your soul. If you drink this outside at like après ski, again, they don't do it that much in the States. Some places have it, but in Europe, you get it there. It's just
you lift the car.
Perfection.
It's great.
It's perfection. It's got a really nice it really does warm you from the inside.
You think you can make that with Red Bull?
Who could stop you? Who could goddamn stop you?
I don't know. We can make like a new modern concoction with we got to make the American Glühwein. We got to make it's got to have Red Bull, maybe Monster Energy, like all the mix of those. Well,
speaking about trying something new, going a little crazy.
Let's go to ski news.
So a lot of people are probably buying new skis this season. Did you think about getting?
You're buying new skis, aren't you?
I got a new pair for my wife. I'm still looking at a few pairs. I may do something stupid the next few days. I haven't decided yet.
It's like stock for like buying and selling and shit, right?
But now I have another option on the table. So there's a new company that is making a pair of all metal skis.
Wow.
Yes.
Not metal edges, just all metal.
Not like heavy metal, like just metal. So there hasn't been a lot of disruption in ski construction since metal edges, fiberglass, and composites were added to a traditional wood design decades ago. That's why M1, a ski brand that calls its manufacturing a science rather than an art, is making waves with a completely new all-metal construction that could revolutionize the industry. The M1 skis, the M stands for metal, has trademarked a construction technique called monoblock, which uses one full piece of metal per ski. Hard to imagine. Using what's called a CNC machine, CNC stands for computer numerical control, and uses pre-programmed software to shape its designs. Aerospace-grade aluminum alloy is milled into the shape and profile of a ski like a sculpture. The construction replaces the panini-like layup of top sheet wood and base material wrapped with wood or with metal edges. The idea for the monoblock construction came from M1 Ski's CEO Brian Rosenberger, an aerospace engineer for Lockheed Martin, who had a hypothesis that he could use the aluminum alloy he was working with on airplanes to create a snowboard. With a CNC machine, he
Nice.
shaped a snowboard from one piece of metal, tested it on snow, and was pleasantly surprised at the performance. So then he approached Leaf Sunday, a experienced ski technician, gear tester, and owner of the Denver Sports Lab in Golden, Colorado. Brian and I met through Denver Sports Lab, and he shared with me his design background in the aerospace industry and asked me what I thought of an all aluminum ski. Brian and I started a relationship where I sent him the top skis available on the market and he analyzed them. The result is that I had to unlearn and relearn what makes equipment what it is, and it's all come from Brian's background in engineering and design. So all the prototyping was done digitally. With Sunday, it says reduce the waste that is common with traditional ski manufacturing. We use a single material which has consistent and widely understood properties and characteristics. In the composite world or traditional ski construction, modeling isn't as reflective as the physical product that is produced. Without the variability of raw materials, the M1 team could measure and design to the exact parameter they were testing, closing the gap between what they envisioned and the final product. Since Rosenberger worked daily with high-grade aluminum alloy, he was confident about the characteristics and properties of the material. In a process of reverse engineering, the M1 team looked at established ski models from a character perspective, studying the geometry and measuring the flex profile. They wanted quantitative answers to questions such as the difference between soft ski versus a forgiving ski, a stiff ski versus an aggressive ski, and where the nuances lie. The process to learn about the levels that derive the characteristics of a ski took about 5 years. We had the
Wow.
advantage that we could make specific and isolated changes to ski flex and torsional rigidity that could optimize ski behavior for a desired ski. Working with the knowledge that the ski industry is resistant to change, the M1 team wanted experiential ski data to be a central part of their brand story. One of the tools they used was the Carve digital ski coach app, which allowed them to capture a data-driven picture of performance. M1 had ski testers use Carve sensors in their boots to measure things like edge angle and pressure. If you're thinking that all metal ski would be awfully stiff, you're not alone. However, if you look under the top sheet of most high-performance skis on the market, you'd see a layer or two of Titanol, a type of material in their construction which is known for its shock and vibration absorbing properties, increasing a ski dampness. Using aluminum meant that M1 skis would absorb vibration inherently because of the material's properties. So then they had to figure out the flex profile. So this goes on for a little bit too, but this is pretty awesome, because again, it's always crazy when someone tries something that different. And you kind of, the whole industry too went from like the long straight skis to now the wider skis. So they only have a couple different skis they're going to try, and their all mountain carving ski is going to be an 85 millimeter waist. They're going to have a front side carving ski at 70 millimeters, and then a slalom ski at 66 millimeters. Very limited offers right now. They have a wait list, and the skis are going to range from $2,000 to $2,500. But this is interesting,
I think this is great for the industry.
I love when people try something bold and different like this.
Well, if you look at other sports, right? Like you look at golf clubs, right? Everything was all metal. Then they started introducing, graphite, and now there's still metals coming back. So you do have an option. Like you don't have to do one or the other. Like there's different properties to each, right? Like same thing with, baseball bats. Like there's a lot of sporting equipment that has composites versus or wood versus like metal, right? Like it's kind of interesting. Like why couldn't metal be used? Like if you want to, I would imagine it be stiffer than wood, but then even wood, they start changing out the wood, right? They're like, now everything's bamboo versus what they used to use before, poplar and whatever else they used to use. So I don't know. I think it's great.
I always love when someone makes a bold move because again, you look at what Shane McConkey did with wide skis. Taking a pair
Yeah.
of water skis and using them, and then it changed the entire industry. And sometimes it just takes someone bold or crazy enough to try something completely different. And then 10 years later, everyone's doing it. And you go, why weren't we doing this all along? It's just because again, when you start doing something a certain way, it just becomes the way. You just kind of get stuck in that pattern. So you need someone come from the outside, shake things up, and hopefully, maybe make a huge change in the industry. So,
well, and this hits a sweet spot for me because everybody talks about sustainability, right? You could take these skis, melt them down, and remake them, right? It's metal, right? It's not you're cutting down a tree, and then they say, well, we're using sustainable because bamboo regenerates very quickly. Okay, but you're still cutting down a tree. Like this is kind of you just melt down a bunch of skis, make a new ski. It's like the ring of power. You can melt down everybody you defeat and make skis out of it. Like that'd be awesome, right?
You could take
You
your
win
old
the World Cup.
take your old Ford
Right.
Escort. Be like, we're melting it down and making skis out of it.
That's right. No, but you take the skis of everybody you beat in the World Cup, you melt them down, and you make the power skis. Boom. There you go. Right? One
not a bad
pair of
move.
skis to rule them all.
Right. One pair to find them all.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that'd be
this will
cool.
be cool. It'd be cool to follow the story, see where it goes.
Yeah, I think it's good for the industry that people are still trying to push the limits.
That's right.
Speaking of pushing the limits, still, industry legend Klaus Obermeyer just turned 105 years old, and he looks fantastic.
God bless him.
So if you've seen anything on Instagram, like I saw a bunch of stuff pop up on Instagram, and I was like, holy moly, I had no idea he was 105 years old. So the longer you ski, the longer you live is the motto of Klaus Obermeyer. And I tell you, it fits great. So Klaus was born in Oberstaufen, Germany on December 2nd, 1919. So he recently celebrated his 105th birthday, but his love for skiing began at the age of 3 at his family's alpine property. His early ingenuity was evident when he was a child. He transformed Italian chestnut crates into makeshift skis, though he initially studied aeronautical engineering in Munich. So he was an egghead. His path took him to the U.S., where he settled in Aspen, Colorado, and revolutionized the ski industry. So in 1947, he founded Sport Obermeyer, blending his love for skiing with an eye for innovation. And he recognized the need for practical, high-performance ski gear, and he developed revolutionary products like more functional parkas, high-altitude sunscreen, and extendable children's jackets. He also introduced the ski industry staples such as mirrored sunglasses, double-lens goggles, and lightweight ski poles. That's pretty cool. He's credited with that, right? Like, and that's like a staple for everybody now.
Yeah. Now, not to be a dick, but where was Klaus in 1939 through 45?
Hey, I don't know.
I mean, he was an aeronautical engineer in Germany in the 30s and 40s.
From Munich.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Klaus, we're not judging.
You do what you got to do to make the day go by.
It's true. If you were just following orders.
But
I
yeah,
just
think
want
about
to go skiing, mein Führer.
That's right. Hey, they had ski people World War I, World War II, right? There was
10th
a
Mountain
whole
Division.
thing
Germany had to have one too.
Yeah. What is a German 10th Mountain? Was it something else? It was called something else. I don't know.
The Bergen SS? I don't know.
It had to be something.
Yeah.
Something pretty cool. But yeah, this article is pretty cool because it has it was from Snowbrains. And shout out to Snowbrains. These guys are pretty cool. We met them at Snowbound. But yeah, they have pictures of Klaus, and they got the link to the Instagram, and they show pictures of him. That's pretty cool. Just hanging out,
Klaus, he started
running.
swimming daily at age 100. He's doing yoga and
Damn.
aikido. Like he's just crushing it, you know? Big
Still
smile on
skiing.
his face.
Still skiing.
Ah,
So when you think you're
living the
too
dream.
tired or you have an excuse, this dude's 105 making it happen. Get your ass up, go out, work out, go enjoy the outside, go enjoy skiing. Just do it.
Klaus
Just
it
do
up.
it.
Klaus
Klaus it up. What would Klaus do?
That's right.
Well, then again, you brought the 1930s. What would Klaus do? I don't want to know.
Yeah. We're talking about 100-year-old. What would 100-year-old Klaus do?
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. There's a lot of what you shouldn't do in this story. Fired Schumacher bodyguard blackmailed F1 star's family with post-ski crash photos.
Not good.
So I saw this article, and I remember there was like a Schumacher documentary on Netflix. Kind of talk about Michael Schumacher's history, and it's been weird. Like he had that terrible accident, and he's alive, but he's in like I don't know if he's in like a
he's vegetative, not in vegetative state.
Coma. Like
is he?
I don't exactly know, and I think they don't want you to know.
He was in a coma for months. Like it was bad.
Yeah. So this is
you would have thought F1 would have got him, and it was skiing into a tree that got him.
Fucking awful. Well, it was a rock. He hit a rock off piste.
Oh, rock.
Security guard for the family of 7-time Formula One world champion Michael Schumacher is on trial for allegedly attempting to extort money from the family after learning he was going to be fired. According to prosecutors, Marcus Hirscher used his position to allegedly steal 1,500 photographs and 200 videos from the family home in Switzerland. Hirscher allegedly absconded with 4 USB thumb drives containing the stolen media, and with help from his son, Daniel Linz, a computer expert, and a friend, nightclub bouncer Yilmaz Tosturkan, attempted to ransom the material back to the family in exchange for 15 million euro. If the family refused to cooperate, Hirscher and his partners planned to dump the images on the dark web, prosecutors said. It's fucking dark, man. After the family reported the incident to authorities, the would-be blackmailers were identified when the phone number used to call the family was traced back to one of the suspects. The Guardian reports that the media stolen included photos of Schumacher after the near-fatal 2013 skiing accident, from which the driver has not fully recovered. His family has remained steadfastly private about his condition. His wife, Corinna, agreed to her first public interview following the accident just 5 years ago. Schumacher was injured in the waning days of December 2013 while skiing with his son Mick in the French Alps. He fell and suffered a head injury that might have otherwise been fatal had he not been wearing a helmet. But even after 2 surgeries, doctors were forced to keep him in a medically induced coma for several months. He has not made any public appearances since the accident, and his family has chosen to keep his recovery private.
Wow.
Oof. So, not a ski story, but kind of a ski story
in some
related. Ugh.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
crazy.
What a dick move. I mean, 15 million. Oh, that's just gross.
So why were they going to fire him? They say.
I don't know. He said he was learning he was going to get fired. Yeah.
Was it because he's the bodyguard for Schumacher, who's kind of, they know where he's at, or you wonder, like, is there something else to this? That's what I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it doesn't really say anywhere why he was going to be fired.
And the family's super private about everything, which I get, but it seems a little too private. Like, he had fans. Like, why wouldn't you let people know what's going on at least? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not good if they're keeping it all this private, so.
I can't fault him for being private, but you kind of want to know. I mean, you got fans. I mean, he's a great F1 driver and beloved. So, I don't know. Like, people want to know how he's doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think too, like what's the cost the family has to, to keep him, in, again, I don't know what state he's in, what kind of recovery he needs, physical therapy, whatever. Like it must be just, it can't be
Oh, I'm sure
inexpensive. That's
he
for
still
sure.
has price stuff coming in. Yeah.
I mean, it's
I think
going
he's
to be like
got
millions
a
of
son,
dollars.
right? Mick Schumacher that's racing.
Yeah, he's in Formula One now, I think.
Yeah, I was looking through the web, and of course, all these articles were coming up, and I guess there's a big shakeup. He left Ferrari to go to Mercedes to drive for them, or I don't know. I don't follow Formula One too much.
Yeah,
but
Benetton, then Ferrari, then I think he went to Mercedes after that.
yeah, very interesting.
Oof, just awful.
Well, it's
And that
interesting how they
wraps
track
up.
the guy down too.
Yeah, well, he seemed like he was kind of a dummy. So,
Yeah,
dummies do dumb
he's a
things.
bouncer.
Yeah. Well, kind of awful. But that wraps up the ski news. And it's actually a pretty good segue into the main topic. People getting injured skiing. Again, and it's with M's. Michael Schumacher, Mikaela Shiffrin, Marcel Hirscher. A lot of M's. M's
A
and
lot of
skis.
M's.
And all December. I guess Mikaela, technically. November. Something about. Ski season is in November, December. So that makes perfect sense. But yes, Mikaela Shiffrin was going.
Curse, we'll call it.
She was going for her 100th World Cup victory at her quote-unquote home mountain in Killington, Vermont. And goddamn Superstar bit her. Superstar bit her. She was
Superstar.
Yeah. Did you watch the video of the crash?
I did not watch. Well, yeah, I saw the crash part, but I didn't see the part leading up to it. I wasn't watching the whole thing.
We have the link here in the show notes. Take a look.
Yeah, they have a whole run on here.
They have the whole run. They have her first run, which I think she was in first place after the first run. And then it was the second run. So she must have been the last one down if she was in first place.
Right.
She's just going along. Everything seems to be going great. And then I don't know if she lost an edge or what, but it was just an awkward, quick tumble that she took, and she just crashed right into the gate. And like you look at it, and it looks bad, and it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It said Mikaela Shiffrin suffered a puncture wound in the right side of her abdomen and severe muscle trauma in a Saturday giant slalom crash. Okay, so it wasn't the slalom, it was the giant slalom. She did not have ligament damage, and her bones and internal organs look okay, according to U.S. Ski and Snowboard. Shiffrin said Sunday that she expects to be out for more than 2 weeks based on the timelines of her previous muscle strains and spasms. She just wants Christmas off. She's like,
yeah,
how about we start off in January? We'll take off December. I'm ready the best of all time. It's muscle tearing, so it's like the most severe kind of muscle spasm you could imagine, she said on NBC Sports. So that's going to be longer than 2 weeks. Right now, I'm pretty limited in doing anything, but we'll see how it goes the next couple days and try to make it happen as quick as possible. And then she posted a video showing the puncture. I don't know did you see that?
I saw that when she posted on Instagram, and it looked like she got stabbed. I was like, somebody shanked her on the run. I was like, is Lindsey Vonn there? Did she shank her? Did she really try to take her out like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did somebody shank her? Did she ski into the woods and somebody got her?
Yeah. I mean, I think not that it's funny, but I think that her going to like Rutland Hospital is kind of funny. Because that's the big hospital there by Killington.
And we've skied Killington so much, and thank God we never had to go to the hospital while we were there.
Not yet.
Because I thought about it, I was like, I don't know of any good hospital around. I have no idea if Rutland's a good hospital or not. I imagine they got to have.
I'm sure it's a great hospital.
A decent amount of trauma stuff, right? Like
you got to think their orthopedics have to be pretty excellent, considering that's besides like heroin overdoses, I think ski injuries are probably the the top injuries you're going to get there at the rut.
Bulletproof, bullet wounds, like all that stuff. Like, I don't know.
So yeah, she was the first runs leader of Saturday's race. Was about 12 seconds from the finish line, and her second and final run when she slipped coming around a gate, slid through a gate, somersaulted, had one ski detach, and spun around
I
before
saw the
sliding into
somersault
safety
part,
net.
and I was like, "Holy crap!"
It was such a weird crash. Like it was just like she was almost done. She was in first place. She was looking great. It just got really squirrely.
So I've been watching the video while we're talking. I saw the first run. First run looked solid. She was just cruising down. I was like, "All right, nothing bad. Just normal Jersey." Oh, and there's the crash. Oof. And you know what? The crash didn't look that bad. It looked so violent when they hit that freaking
A gate in the
that
somersault.
retention wall. Yeah.
Well, the
Oh.
somersault was so weird.
Yeah. It was quick though. It was like a quick somersault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never good to see.
Yeah, it sucks. It could have been a lot
As
worse.
long as it wasn't like soft tissue tear, like a shank or a puncture. Okay, so she got impaled by a thing. That's probably not as bad as tearing your freaking knee way out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if her ski would have caught,
that
really
would've
awkwardly, it could have been really bad. If it would have caught and she like somersaulted, like it could have been really nasty, like a twist and pull.
It didn't look like that bad of a crash.
No, not at
first-
all, right? Like I don't know if she lost an edge or
Yeah.
what, but it just the way it happened, it just got so weird so quick, almost like it was like an oil spill in like Mario Kart or something.
Yeah. I mean, it is New Jersey. There could have been some, car part. No.
I don't know when
Medical
Killington
waste,
moved to
I don't
New
know.
Jersey. Pretty sure Killington's in Vermont. So maybe something.
It's
I don't know.
Jersey-like. It's close enough. It's close enough.
Ultra North Jersey.
Bring the Jersey. It's like the South Park, the Jersey,
It was like south of Kenny's
the
house.
Jersey,
like
Vermont.
Totoko.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Jersey just
Vermont.
Jersey just takes over the whole country.
Exactly. It's a Jersey Vermont thing.
It's
Well,
happening.
of course they have the don't make Vermont, New Jersey. What is it? The don't Jersey,
Don't
Vermont.
Jersey,
That's
Vermont.
the, yeah. So that's kind of, you never know what's there.
It's true.
But yeah,
And then
it didn't look like that bad of a crash. I'm surprised.
Yeah. And then, Marcel Hirscher with his comeback ended abruptly after the Dutch-Austrian ski racer suffered a torn ligament during training on the Reitelam, Austria on Monday, December the 2nd. So again, December, Marcel, Michael, both Decembers. Mikaela, M, end of November. So Mikaela did the 30th. November 30th, so
skiing
1 day
around
away.
Thanksgiving.
35-year-old athlete had staged a comeback to the FIS Alpine World Cup circuit after 5 years of retirement this season. For the comeback, Hirscher has switched nationality and competed for the Netherlands, his mother's birth country. And I guess he posted, cruciate ligament gone, project over, exclamation point. During giant slalom, again, giant slalom too. During giant slalom training on the Reitelam, Hirscher slid out in what initially seemed a harmless slip. However, Hirscher tore the anterior cruciate ligament ACL in his left knee with a slight injury to the outer capsule apparatus. He shared a video of the slip on his social media account. So let's view it on Instagram.
So the same giant slalom, they reach about 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
What is the Super G is about? We're talking about 80? Or is that
no, you're not getting that high. Downhill, you're hitting 80. Ugh.
Okay, Super G, they're saying 60 to 75, and then downhill is like 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Still, 50 is pretty fast.
It doesn't even, it doesn't even look that bad, but it's just awkward. Yeah.
The problem with the knee is you just never know what if it just moves the wrong way. You just never know the damage it's doing.
Do you ever just think about how like pathetic our bodies are? You just like think about like hitting your toe on like the stupidest little thing, and you're like, "Argh!" and you're in so much pain for like 20 minutes. Like our bodies
I think
are
if you
so weak and pathetic.
I think if you were to sit down with the designer of the human body and say, "Hey, this is all the shit we're doing with it," they'd probably be like, "Yeah, I never designed it to do all this stuff that you're doing. Like,
It's not
so
meant to do that.
3/4 of the shit you're doing, don't do it. Like,
Like,
you guys
I
have
never,
minds. Build
I
shit
didn't
to do
know,
that."
I didn't know about parkour when I was designing this. Like, I didn't know that existed or was ever
That's
going to
right.
exist. Like, I don't know what kind of psychopath decided parkour was
Shake
going to
their
be a
head, be
thing.
like, "Why the fuck did you guys invent parkour? Like,
These
that's
were
not
not
what I
part of the
designed you
design
for.
specs. This was not in the design specs I got.
I designed you guys to think about parkour, but not to actually do it. That's just ridiculous. Why would you
Like,
do
I
that?"
wish, like like the shoulder, like when you mess your shoulder up, like it's always messed up. The shoulder is like the way it moves because you're moving like up. You can go, you can rotate it. Like it's such a bizarre joint. If you mess it up, like it's never fixed. Like it'll never be good again.
Did I do that half Tough Mudder with you or with Steve?
It was not with me.
All right. So I did it with Steve, and one of the guys that was running it with us was a parkour instructor. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Like, we're talking about parkour or whatever." I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing here." I'm like, "This is kind of like a 5K with mud, right?" Like, whatever. I was just half-assed it. And he's like, "Yeah, he's like, I do parkour instructing, but I haven't been doing stuff for a while." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I broke my leg. It was like a compound fracture in my leg." And I'm like, sitting there thinking, I'm processing in my mind. I'm like, "You're an instructor. What the hell were you doing?" He's like, "I was jumping on something and I just kind of missed the jump and I just boom." And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's not a good thing to even try to do. Like,
You're like, I was
I,
coding and I fucked up my code and it didn't process, but I fixed
I
it.
pulled the finger, man. I pulled the finger.
But it's
Pressing
not like
that
I was
button.
jumping across a building and I missed and I landed on like the top of a tractor trailer and splattered all over the side of it.
But you go to do a
Yeah,
normal thing, right? And you're like, I'm going to run up a mountain, run down a mountain. I'm going to hike. I'm going to do like, okay, I could pull a hamstring. I could, twist an ankle. Like you expect those things. You're flying down a mountain on two boards, lashed to your feet. Come on, at 50 miles an hour.
listen, let's not
Some
talk
bad
about
shit's going to happen.
if you really think about skiing, what it is,
It's not natural.
it's not the smartest sport, but that's
We're
also
more
why
a
it's so
snow
much
tubing
fun.
society. I'm just saying. That's why the
No, we're
people that can do the skiing very well are amazing.
no, we're more of a sit on the couch society at this point.
We're more watch the guy that's going to go lash those boards to their feet and throw themselves down the mountain at 50 miles an hour. We're that society to watch that.
But that's what's so much fun about it, right? You're just living on the edge. Like it's just what other thing can you do where you can basically go no speed limit, you versus gravity, who's going to play chicken, who's going to blink first. That's what I love about skiing. You can go as hard as you
Sure.
want, you can make it chill and enjoy and just kind of cruise around, or you can be like, "Listen, gravity, today's not your day. Let's fucking go."
Today's not your
And I
day.
love that. That's what I
I say
love
good
about
day,
skiing.
sir.
What do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got, bro? That's what I
But
love.
then again, this is why they're racing. They're on a closed course, balls to the wall. In
Yeah.
your normal ski down area, you can't go 50 miles an hour. It's ridiculous. You got people jumping in and out, people falling. Like you got to be responsible.
You got snowboarders sitting on the ground.
Yeah. Now, unless you're gonna jump them, that's a different story. Then that's kind of fun. But
Full send, baby.
full send.
Full send right over
full
them.
send
Like a
it.
speed bump. Like a speed bump in
Like,
a rental Escalade. Just launching it. So yeah, so it's been a rough couple weeks here for some of our heroes out there. But you do what you can. You got Lindsay coming back. She's got a new knee. she's getting after it. They're not sure when she's actually going to start racing, but it could be pretty soon. You just do what you can.
Yeah. I wonder if Marcel was like, he had like a pecking order of injuries that is like, if I get any of these, I'm out. If I get any of these, maybe, right? Like, he was really pretty adamant about like, ACL's done, I'm out. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
end of project. We're done. We'll pack it up.
that's a rough one. It's not a sprained ankle, it's not a twisted knee.
Oh, I
It's
don't
like
blame him.
ACL's
I'm just wondering if going into
shitty
the
one.
comeback, he had like a plan, right?
Yeah.
Like you kind of should have a plan and know your limits, right? Like, what am I willing to go through? Am I going to go through several surgeries, a comeback, all this stuff, or like I'm just going to see where I go with this and see how it goes, and
Yeah.
I think you got to also take a step back and say, look, man, I don't need to do this right now. I'm pretty successful. I could take a step back now.
Yeah. It says here in the article too, according to eyewitnesses like Switzerland's Marco Odermatt, the 40-year-old skiing legend appeared to be. Oh, this is talking about Lindsey Vonn. Huh.
Wow,
So
look
yeah,
at that.
so yeah, they're talking about Lindsey Vonn has announced her plans to return to competitive ski racing and has been training with the U.S. ski team in Copper. Here is what the eyewitnesses are saying about Lindsey. She appears to be in fantastic shape and putting down impressive training runs. But Vaughn was quick to share her shock at Hirscher's injury on his Instagram page, saying, "No, I'm so sad. Now I have no comeback buddy. Please heal fast." So if you're injured and making a comeback,
no,
Lindsey Vonn needs a buddy. So maybe you could help her out.
That's funny.
So,
Marcel's no, I'm out.
Yeah, it's been a rough week, but these are professionals. These are professionals. They're gonna.
He said Marcel out, but he said it in German. He's out.
Rausmit.
Or Austrian.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Austrian. They speak German.
They speak German.
It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But I think, Lindsay's the one now. She's the all the eyes are going to be on her for her comeback, and hopefully it's a little more successful. And her and Mikaela can go head to head. Maybe we'll see how that goes. A lot of drama. It's exciting FIS season this year, so there'll be more coming soon.
I like the drama. It's a good build up. Now they're both coming back.
Yeah, why don't they do? You know how like Netflix pretty much does like behind the scenes of everything. They have like the football ones, like quarterback and receiver. They have the Formula One thing. Why don't they have like an FIS documentary series like that behind the scenes? That would be cool.
How about this? A match race. Lindsay versus Mikaela. Settle all bets. That's it.
How about Lindsey Vonn versus Jake Paul in a ski race?
Boom. And then they battle at the bottom. That's it.
There's a fight at the end. Those boxing gloves you got to pick up.
That's right.
On a slightly frozen pond.
And this time, Lindsay won't pull punches like Mike Tyson and actually maybe knock out Jake Paul. Just saying. Paper champion. Paper champion. I'll call you out, Jake Paul. Paper champion.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, have you seen Jake Paul's girlfriend?
I have. I think we follow her on Instagram.
I'm pretty sure we do. Well, she does have 4 million followers, so
she's a runner, right? She's a
she's a speed skater.
Oh, a speed skater. That's what it is. A lot of videos of her running and biking, and
I think she's a Dutch speed skater.
Dutch or French?
I thought she was Dutch.
Maybe Dutch.
I don't know. I think you could do better, but who am I? You must like money.
Saying.
You must like money.
If you really like money that much, just saying.
Really like money. Well,
but yeah,
I don't have anything else to say about this. It's good, but it's going to be a cool FIS season. Hopefully, Lindsay's comeback is more successful than Marcel's. Hopefully, he gets better soon. Hopefully, Mikaela gets better soon, and that they can all be happy and fun and racing again.
Ski forever.
Ski forever, like Klaus. Remember, Klaus it up. Be like Klaus.
105. 105.
100.
Race Klaus. I want to see him race Klaus.
Ah.
Can you imagine if Klaus could beat them at 105? But like, I'm the champ. I still got the belt. That'd be awesome.
I think that could be
that'd be
something.
superhero. Yeah.
That's right.
He'd be the real Frozone.
Or Klaus goes down and
Frozone.
breaks everything. Just breaks every organ, every bone.
The promoters were like, this is a terrible idea.
What the hell were we thinking?
What did we do? We have an
Guy's
icon that just
105.
shattered.
105.
Yeah. Somebody's like, guys, what were you thinking?
It's just like Obi-Wan, just like vaporizes.
Just poof.
Just gone. Just
I
Obi-Wan.
don't think he really died. I think he just evaporated. Like poof.
Just gone.
Is he really gone? Or is he just
Or is
in
he
another
everywhere?
dimension? Like he just poof. He's everywhere.
So yes, folks,
Horrible
be
thought.
like Klaus. The longer you ski, the longer you'll live.
That's right. He's not having problems with the ACL.
Something to it. Something to it.
So good.
That's going to wrap up the podcast for the week. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Want to help us out? Support the podcast. Patreon.com/Ski Bum Podcast. If you need some more gear, you want to get in shape, 10,000.cc, use the code BSchneider15. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, stay falutin'.
Auf Wiedersehen.